Greetings, adventurers. Welcome to Miniature Legends, a place where even the smallest of figures can be legendary. Today, I had a thought. I want to conjure up some dungeon tiles. Having access to a 3D printer, I browsed the archives of the internet to see what was available. While I saw a variety of interesting options, they weren't exactly what I had in mind, so I had a thought. What if I designed my own? Well, this is what I came up with. As you can see, they are simple, modular, and magnetized. A wonderful addition to tabletop RPGs. If you want to download the files yourself, they are in the description down below. And if you're interested to see how I made them, stick around. I began in Krita, sketching out a simple repeating pattern. I didn't want to use the traditional grid system, as I want these tiles to be usable in a variety of environments. So, with some clever measurements, each tile represents a standard 1-inch grid used in games like D&D and Pathfinder. Moving to Blender, I imported the pattern as a displace modifier on the plane, creating a simple 2x2 tile section. As well as adding a subdivision modifier to smooth out the rough nature of the displace. Many of these techniques were also used when I made my texture rolling pins. If you're interested in seeing that, there's a link above. I extruded the edges and made the object manifold so it will print properly. Exporting as an STL file, I moved the tile into my slicer and scaled it to match the intended size. One quick print later, and this is the result. First thoughts. The size is good, and I feel there's an appropriate space for minis. But I don't like the layer lines on top. However, I can fix that with some sandpaper. Much better. Next, I'm going to test my ability to magnetize these. Seems like I have enough room for 2mm magnets. Here I am using the mirror modifier to build out the remaining tiles. Flipping and saving them on each step to build a wide selection of different sizes. That seems like a good variety. Let me know if you think I missed any down below. Time to get printing. It seems like most of them printed reasonably well. I got to work sanding the remaining tiles. Here I'm using some 60 grit, followed by some 120 grit. I don't mind if the sanding leaves a few scuff marks. This should give a more worn feel. Deciding to save on magnets, I used a paper clip and some super glue to give a few neutral surfaces that the magnet could still attach. Moment of truth. Success. It seems like it works well enough. Not quite as strong as 2 magnets, but shouldn't be an issue during play. I found the best method for securing the magnets was a drop of superglue, followed up by a quick tap with my tack hammer. Now that the tiles are magnetized and sanded, time to prime. I gave each tile a thorough coat of black primer. Once that was done, I moved on to a single coat of neutral gray craft paint. For the outer tile pattern, I mixed up a 50-50 split of Mars black and neutral gray. I used a few sponges to apply a homemade wash all across the tiles. Try my best to avoid obvious brushstrokes. Next, a dry brush of Stonewall Gray to establish some highlights on the stony surface. I wanted the tiles to feel more worn, both through conflict and through time, so I began work on freehand cracks in the stonework. I tried to follow any existing scuffs or scratches from the sanding process. I found it was helpful for keeping smooth lines. I gave each tile a touch-up of Mars Black on the sides. As a final touch, I added a few drops and splotches of Citadel's blood for the Blood God. I find you can flick droplets by tapping two brushes together. Finally, I wrapped up the project with a matte varnish. I hope you enjoyed seeing my process. Please let me know if you have any ideas on how these tiles might be improved. For now, if you want to see more of my work with miniatures, why not click on the video on the top left? I hope to see you again soon. Farewell, adventurers.